What up, YouTube? It's Mother's Day, so I want to wish all the mothers out there a very happy Mother's Day. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed your day. I just got back from being out with my mother, and since today is Mother's Day, I want to talk about one of the key tips that my mother gave me growing up. One of those key tips that she gave me is anything that you want to do in life, just come up with a plan and execute. It's pretty simple. As simple as it sounds, it's probably one of the hardest things for people to do. Mm, nice and smooth. Yeah, it's probably one of the hardest things to do. So growing up, I always knew I wanted to own a business, have some kind of business going on, but I wasn't afraid of having to work to get there. So my plan was to actually lock down a 9 to 5, a successful one, just in case the business thing, the entrepreneurship thing didn't work out. So that was one of my key things that I worked on when trying to start my businesses. So I just want to let you guys know that you guys shouldn't be afraid of 9 to 5. 9 to 5s are your friend. 9 to 5 is not your enemy. Everybody can't be a business owner. Everybody can't be a CEO. Everybody can't be a VP. Everybody just can't be that. It is what it is. There's certain people that have that entrepreneurship mindset, and there's certain people that don't. And it's for a reason. Because everybody's not created equal. Everybody takes different routes of their success. So I don't look down on anybody that has a 9 to 5. If you got a 9 to 5 and you're doing what you got to do and you're happy with that, then that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. 9 to 5 is what actually got me to where I'm at now. 9 to 5 was it set me up for life. It set me up for my kids. Without that 9 to 5, I probably wouldn't have the things I have now. I would have probably had to take a different route. So with that being said, this video is about how I use my 9 to 5 to get to where I want in life, and not to be scared of a 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is your enemy, and a 9 to 5, depending on what field you're in, it can really set you up for life. So don't follow that social media shit that you got to get out of the 9 to 5, this and that. There's benefits of a 9 to 5, and there's benefits of owning your own business. It's just about what you want to do in life. Don't let social media or anybody convince you that there's one way to do it and there's one way to look at it. Like you only could be successful if you have a 9 to 5. I mean, if you could only be successful if you have your own business and you're your own boss. Because at the end of the day, if it's your own business or not, you are working for somebody. If you got a business, guess what? You still have a boss. It might not seem that way, it might not look that way, but they are still your boss, because you still have someone to answer to, because without those people, your business wouldn't be shit. So when I say those people, I mean clients. So if you own a business, you still have to cater to those clients. You still have to please those clients. When the clients need you, you got to be on your shit, because you'll lose business if that's the case. And that's what people don't get. People think, oh, I got my own business. I do what I want. I come in when I want. No, it's still a business. When you have your own business, you actually work more than you do 9 to 5. Because 9 to 5, you can go in, clock out, and then you're done. If you're getting paid hourly, you're done. No, it don't matter what's going on at work. You already put your time in. You're done. You don't have to worry about it. When you have your own business, you are on call 24/7. You're working 16, 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day. It doesn't stop because you can't let that momentum stop. You always got to keep going, keep going, keep going. So you can't, when you have your own business, you can't let that momentum stop, and you got to keep it going nonstop. So you actually work more and work harder when you are running your own business. So my thing that I did was I got into a trade, and when I got into this trade, I knew it was a really good trade because I knew people that were in this trade, and they gave me the blueprint on how to become a stationary engineer, which pays really, really good. I make more money as a stationary engineer than people that own their own businesses. So, like I said, don't be afraid of the 9 to 5. So my route, I'm gonna tell you a story about my route. My route was I got in at the bottom. I knew I had to start from the bottom, so I started off from the bottom and kind of hustled my way throughout the company. I started from the bottom. I became an apprentice. Then I became an engineer. Then from engineer, I got to the level of chief engineer. Then I district manager. I worked my way up. But during that time, I was saving money. I was building my credit. I was thinking of ideas of what I wanted to do to start my business, what kind of business I wanted to do. And throughout those years, I just was preparing myself for, how do you say, I just preparing myself for coming up with a business plan and executing. And that was the most comfortable, or it is the most comfortable way to do it, because at the end of the day, I couldn't sacrifice. There's certain sacrifices you got to make when you try to start your own business. And the sacrifice that I couldn't make the sacrifice of my business failing, and I got people that depend on me. I had to really think about how I want to do it, and that was a plan that I came up with. I said, I'm gonna get into a really good career, because it wasn't just a job. I'm gonna get into a really good career while I'm trying to build my business, while I'm trying to come up with the idea and come up with the foundation for this business. While I'm doing that, I'm just gonna get into a really good career so I can have, what do they say, a for sure. Like, no matter what, I know I went to work. I know I've been working. I know I've been busting my ass. I know there's a paycheck coming every week. Every week there's a paycheck coming, so I didn't have to worry about if my business was failing or not. So those are the things that you have to worry about when you are trying to run your business. Is there's ups and downs, especially for the first 5 years. First 5 years is rough. I've seen it. Certain people don't even make it out the first 2 years. But see, with my plan of what I did, I knew I had that for sure coming in. I knew that no matter what my business did, I was gonna be okay, because I didn't want to be stressed out about if I can pay a bill, or if I could take care of my kids, or if I can, pay the mortgage. I don't wanna worry about that. So my 9 to 5 got me a home, got my kids um, good insurance, got my kids, I got a retirement plan. I got all the stuff that a business doesn't even cover. You have to do, see, what people don't realize is that when you own your own business, you got to do all that stuff yourself. There's no vacations when you have a business. You're really not on vacation. And if you go on vacation, you don't get paid like a company would pay you. You got to pay for your own dental. You got to pay for your own retirement. There's things that when working a 9 to 5, working for a company, that they give you, that when you own your own business, you got to pay for that yourself. And all those things are not cheap. Those things are expensive, you know. So I understand everybody wants to be their own boss, and but with the benefit of owning your own business is that you get to, there's no limit to what you can build it to and how much you can make, because it's up to you of how how hard you go and how successful your business becomes. So, but when you're working for a company, yeah, I mean, depending on what level you're at, you can, you make 100,000, become a VP, 200,000, but that's like really you fighting for that position, right? You fighting for it with other people in that company that are fighting for that same position. So that's the thing. There's like kind of when it comes to like your financial gain for working for somebody, it's kind of a fight and there's like a limit. But when you have your own company, there's no limit to what you can do. You can grow the business to be, to $100 million company, $200 million company, $500 million company when you have your own business. So that's the pros and cons of having your own business or working a job. But I incorporated both. I said there's no limit. I'm getting money from here, there. I don't care. I'm getting my money from everywhere. It's not one stream of income that I'm gonna have. So I'm gonna go ahead and work my career, and I'm gonna go ahead and start my business. So it kept me with a peace of mind. So when I was doing this during my journey and the journey that I'm still on, while I'm doing it, is it keeps me with a peace of mind because when my business is doing good, cool. We all happy, everything. Yeah, yeah. But when we're doing bad, we're not making any money, certain things aren't happening, I can still go home. I mean, it stresses me out because nobody wants their business to fail or do bad. But at the end of the day, I could sleep tight because I live below my means. I live still kind of on my career salary. So I don't live above my means. So I can go to sleep and know that as long as I'm working this 9 to 5, if my business is struggling, I'm good. My kids are good. I still could pay my mortgage, car payment. I can still do all that. So it's all about coming up with a plan and executing. So that's why you can't be afraid of a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 can build you up for something bigger. Eventually, yeah. Eventually, when I grow my businesses to where I want to, and it's $100 million company, I'm gonna have to put more time into my business. So I'm not gonna be able to do the 9 to 5 thing. But along the way, the 9 to 5 helped me get to where I'm at or to where I'm going. And that's what people don't understand because look, people start a business, you get a loan, you have your little business plan, you get a loan, you're making, I mean, you get a loan for 100, 200, 300,000, right? You start a small business and then, you build it out or do whatever, I don't know what the business you plan on doing is going to be, but you build it out, you do whatever you got to do. So you got some money left over to, get you by for the next 6 months or so. And your business is not doing what you thought it was going to do. Now you got some money left over, and you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision if are you gonna use this money to pay for your mortgage or your rent, car payment, or do you use this money to keep on feeding into the business because it's not even paying for itself? You're gonna come to a point where you're gonna have to make that decision, or you're just gonna have to close the whole thing down and start all over. I mean, that's why it's important to have a foundation first. My advice that I could give somebody that's starting their business for the first time, have a solid foundation first where you have a steady income. That's a for sure income that's coming in and you can live off of that. And then work on your business after, you know, you do your job. After you do your job. So if you work a 9 to 5, working from 8 to 4, after that, you get an hour break from 5 to whenever is when you work on your business. And that's how you can stay comfortable. Because when you're going through this roller coaster of success and you failing, you're gonna you don't want to be stressed out because that's what's gonna break you, and then your business is gonna fail because you can't afford. You have to make that decision. Do I use my money that I have to keep on feeding my business and try to survive, or feeding my family and surviving there? And that's how most people fail. I've seen it. I've seen it done. I've seen it happen to people, and they have to close the whole thing down. And then guess what? They got to work that 9 to 5 anyways. So it comes back full circle. So start off right. Start off with your 9 to 5, get a solid foundation, and work on your business after hours. You know, because so don't be scared of the 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is a good thing. Like I said, if you pick the right one, it'll 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 work out, and you won't be stressed out. You know, where you can enjoy the highs of your business doing good, and then when the lows happen, you're not gonna be stressed out because you know that life is gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this right now. So that's my little 2 cents of how you use your 9 to 5 to create something bigger. That's what I did. This has been a 18-year. I started doing this young, so this has been an 18-year thing that I've been going on building this. But I had to lock in something that was for sure first. I had to lock in a solid foundation first before I even thought about building that house. You know what I mean? Can't build a house without a solid foundation. So I locked in my foundation, then I built the house. So I locked in a career first, then now I'm building that house. So I appreciate you guys listening to me and taking some of this game. Hopefully I'm giving you guys some good game. You guys taking it, take notes. But everything I tell you guys, this is what worked for me, and it was working for me, and this is how I'm getting through. This is how I believe I'm, in a better space than other people. Everybody, you could do it your way if you want, but what I do is I like to observe and watch people's mistakes, and I take a little bit from that, take a little bit what he did right, what he did wrong, what she did right, what she did wrong. I take a little bit of everything, and then I put it into how I want to do it, and it's been working for me. And everybody that I tell around me I've seen on that same grind as me, they're doing the same thing, and it's working for them. So it's proven. I've seen it. So if you guys got any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment box. I'll answer them. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. We got this going. I'm gonna keep on feeding you this game, feeding you this motivational stuff that I live by. And you guys don't forget to go to www.getmotivatedclothing.com. Check out our gear. Just check it out. You don't gotta buy anything. Just check it out. See what we got. But anyways, nice talking to you. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and go have some more drinks. And I'll see y'all later.